Have you ever locked eyes with someone and felt an instant connection? Or strangely, a sudden awkwardness? That electric moment of eye contact can shape how we're perceived, remembered, and trusted. Today, we'll explore how mastering that simple gaze using Vinh Giang's proven techniques can transform your communication, both on stage and in everyday life. Let's start with the basics. Why does eye contact have such power? We've all heard the advice, look someone in the eye when you talk, but this isn't just a polite habit your parents told you about. There's real science and even deeper psychology at play here. Think about it. Remember the last time you were speaking with someone who held steady, confident eye contact with you. How did you feel? Reassured? Respected? Maybe you even found yourself leaning in a little closer without realizing it. That's because eye contact does something magical. It tells the other person you're here with them. You're not distracted. You're not impatient. You're present. Our brains are wired to notice eyes. From infancy, we instinctively look for eye contact as a sign of safety, connection, and trust. When someone's eyes meet ours, it triggers a subtle neurological response. Oxytocin, the bonding hormone, can even increase in certain situations, making us feel more connected. Now flip that scenario. Imagine someone avoiding your gaze, glancing at the floor, or letting their eyes dart around the room while you speak. You don't need a psychology degree to sense something's off. Even if they're just shy or thinking, our instinct might read it as nervousness, disinterest, or even dishonesty. The truth is, our perception of someone's intentions is often shaped in the silent spaces between words, through eye contact. Vinh Giang calls eye contact a bridge, a nonverbal handshake between the speaker and listener. Done right, it's one of the quickest ways to prime someone's attention, build engagement, and open both hearts and minds. But here's the catch. It's not just about looking someone in the eye. The real magic is in how you do it. There's a difference between a warm, steady gaze and a cold, unblinking stare. One feels like connection. The other? More like interrogation. That's why mastering eye contact is less about a rigid rule and more about a skill you refine, balancing presence with ease, confidence with warmth. And when you get it right, you'll notice something. Conversations feel more natural. Your words seem to land deeper, and people remember how they felt with you long after the conversation ends. So if it's not just about looking someone in the eye, what exactly separates powerful, genuine eye contact from the kind that makes people want to back away? That's where the Goldilocks zone comes in, and we're diving into that next. Let's ask the real question here. What makes eye contact feel good instead of painfully awkward? We've all been on both ends of the spectrum. One moment, someone's staring at you like they're trying to read your soul. Your brain starts screaming, "Look away, look away." The next, they're glancing everywhere except your face, and you're wondering if they're even listening. This is where Vinh Giang introduces the idea of the Goldilocks zone for eye contact, finding that sweet spot where your gaze is just right. Here's the breakdown. Too little eye contact makes you seem distracted, uncertain, or even disinterested. It's like showing up to a conversation but mentally being somewhere else. Too much eye contact tips into the territory of pressure, discomfort, or intrusion. It can feel intense and dominating, even if you don't mean it. The optimal approach, a gentle rhythm. Meet someone's gaze. Hold it for about 1 to 2 seconds, just long enough for it to register. Then glance away briefly before coming back. It's a natural ebb and flow, a bit like breathing. When you do this, something shifts. The other person doesn't feel pinned under your stare. They feel invited into the space you're holding. And because you're breaking eye contact briefly, you're giving both of you a moment to reset. No tension, no awkwardness. Vinh suggests starting small. Try it in low-pressure situations, maybe with a friend over coffee or during a casual chat at work. Smile lightly, look them in the eyes for a second or two, then let your gaze drift naturally before returning. The key? Make it feel casual, not like you're ticking boxes on an eye contact checklist. Over time, you'll notice something interesting. This rhythm stops feeling like a trick. It becomes instinctive. You'll find yourself naturally syncing with the other person's comfort level. In fact, the best communicators often do this without thinking about it. The real magic is that when you're in the Goldilocks zone, people feel more at ease with you. They share more. They listen better. They remember the interaction. And here's the thing. Getting into that zone isn't about controlling the other person's perception. It's about being genuinely present with them. When your intention is connection, not performance, your eyes communicate that sincerity. All right, let's get practical. You've heard about the Goldilocks zone, but how do you train yourself to actually stay in it? Vinh Giang shares a simple but surprisingly powerful exercise called the 2-second rule. And once you try it, you'll notice the difference immediately. Here's how it works. Whenever someone speaks to you, meet their eyes gently and hold that connection for about 2 seconds. Then, break it. Look briefly to your notes, glance down or to the side, before naturally returning to their gaze. Now you might be wondering, why exactly 2 seconds? Well, 2 seconds is the sweet spot. It's long enough to make the other person feel that you're genuinely tuned in, but short enough to avoid crossing into that uncomfortable, overly intense territory. It gives just the right amount of presence and space. Think of it like passing a ball back and forth. You hold it in your hands for a moment, then toss it back. That rhythm creates flow in the conversation. Here's how to start practicing. Pick a familiar partner, a friend, family member, or a coworker you're comfortable with. When they speak, hold their gaze for 2 seconds at a time. Count in your head if you need to at first. Watch their reaction. Do they seem more at ease? Do they lean in? Are they speaking more openly? Once the pattern feels natural, take it into slightly more formal situations, team meetings, video calls, even casual networking events. And here's the interesting part. Over time, you'll stop counting. Your brain will start reading subtle cues, like a micro smile, a nod, or a breath, and your gaze will respond instinctively. You'll become more present without forcing it. The 2-second rule also works wonders for presentations. Instead of letting your eyes dart nervously around the room or locking onto one person for too long, you cycle through brief, steady connections with different people. It gives each section of your audience a sense of inclusion. So here's my question for you. Have you ever tried something like this before? If you have, how did it feel? If you haven't, here's your challenge. Try it today. Pick one conversation, hold eye contact for 2 seconds at a time, and see if you notice a shift in how connected you feel. Eye contact is powerful, but here's the thing. It's not a universal language. What feels warm and respectful in one culture can feel challenging or even rude in another. And if you don't understand the cultural lens you're looking through, your perfect eye contact could actually send the wrong signal. In much of Western culture, like the US, Canada, or parts of Europe, steady eye contact is seen as a sign of honesty, attentiveness, and confidence. Avoiding someone's gaze might be interpreted as shyness, or worse, dishonesty. That's why business negotiations, job interviews, and even casual chats in these cultures often encourage meeting someone's eyes. But travel to other parts of the world, and the meaning can shift dramatically. In some East Asian cultures, for example, prolonged direct eye contact, especially with someone in authority, like a boss, elder, or teacher, can be perceived as disrespectful or confrontational. Instead, a softer, more indirect gaze communicates politeness and humility. In some Middle Eastern countries, Eye contact norms can also vary depending on gender, social status, and the context of the interaction. What's appropriate in a business setting might not be the same in a casual one. And in certain African cultures, avoiding direct eye contact with elders isn't a sign of dishonesty, it's a deep sign of respect. The takeaway? Vinh Giang stresses the importance of adapting. Pay attention to the environment you're in. If you're speaking to someone from a different cultural background, whether it's face-to-face, on a Zoom call, or on stage, observe how they use eye contact. Mirror their comfort level, and you'll likely find a natural balance. It's also worth noting that even within the same country, subcultures and personal preferences can vary. Some people simply feel more comfortable with less direct eye contact, and that's okay. Being aware of these nuances doesn't mean overthinking every glance. It means staying sensitive to the cues people give you. Because here's the truth. Effective communication isn't about forcing one right way. It's about connection. And connection comes from making the other person feel at ease, not from rigidly applying a rule you read in a book. Eye contact is simple, yet profoundly powerful. It's the silent tool that builds trust, commands attention, and deepens connection. From understanding the Goldilocks zone, practicing the 2-second rule, using phrases anchored with gaze, avoiding common pitfalls, embracing the whole presence approach, it all adds up. You don't have to be on a stage to use it. A coffee conversation, a Zoom meeting, a boardroom pitch, it's there. Slow down your delivery. Let your eyes guide the message. Let your presence be felt. If you found these tips helpful, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more insights into powerful communication. Tell in the comments which technique you'll try next, or share your own eye contact tip. Thanks so much for watching, and here's to connecting, one look at a time.